Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. I hope you are all well. So for this week's video we are going to be looking at articles. Articles are words like a and an, and they are usually used before a noun to tell us whether we're talking about something in particular or whether we are talking about something in general. Without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so before we go into articles, we have to know the rule. Because in grammar, we always have rules and we follow the rules. So the rules with using articles, we must know that there are two groups. And every single letter of the alphabet in the English language either falls under a consonant or a vowel. Those are our two groups. Now, the rule is that if the first letter of the word is a consonant, then generally we would use A, and if the first letter of the word is a vowel, we would use an. Okay, there are some times where these rules don't work, and we will look at them a bit later on, but this is generally the rule when deciding when to use A and an. Okay, so let's first of all look at what letters are consonants and what letters are vowels. You may want to take some notes, you may want to write down these two categories to help you follow the rule when it comes to using A and an. Okay, so A is a vowel, B is a consonant. While we go along, see if you can guess what letters are consonants and what letters are vowels. It's a little fun game. Okay, C is a consonant, D is also a consonant, E is a vowel, F is a consonant, G is a consonant, H is a consonant, I is a vowel, J is a consonant, K is a consonant, L is a consonant, M is a consonant, N is a consonant, O is a vowel, P is a consonant, Q is a consonant, R is a consonant, S is a consonant, T is a consonant, U is a vowel, V is a consonant, W is a consonant, X is a consonant, and Y is a consonant, and Z is a consonant. Now from this, you can see it's easier to learn the 5 vowels than the other letters that are consonant, and that way it becomes easier to use the rule when it comes to using grammar. Okay, so bear this in mind as we go on. There are two categories, consonants and vowels. The majority of our letters fall under the consonant, but we do have 5 vowels. Now we're going to see where we use A and where we use an. Rule. Remember our general rule. Our general rule is that if it's consonant, we will use A, and if it starts with a vowel, we would use an. So try and practice using that rule. Okay. So using that rule, we have orange. Now orange starts with a O. So I have to think to myself, what are my vowels again? A, E, I, O, U. Now O is a vowel, so I have to think when the word starts with a vowel, I use an. So let's try an orange. An orange. If we say a orange, it doesn't make sense. So we have to say an orange. And again, our rule works here because O is a vowel. Orange starts with an O, and therefore we have to use an. Okay, let's try a pencil. Now, again, I have to think about this. What are my vowels? Remember, at the beginning, I said it's easier to remember the 5 vowels than it is to remember the 2 categories. You know that there are 5 vowels Any letter that isn't a vowel has to be a consonant. So again, let's do it again. A, E, I, O, U. Now P is not a vowel. So following my rule, because pencil starts with a P, I have to use a pencil instead of an pencil. If I say an pencil, it doesn't make sense. Okay, now it is your turn to practice using the rule and see whether you can spot when we use a and when we use an. Okay, when you are ready to continue, press play and we will continue. Okay, now we have house. We have to look at whether house starts with a consonant or a vowel. We know our 5 vowels are A, E, I, O, U. H is not a vowel. Following our rule, we have to use A because house begins with a H and H is a consonant. So a house. If we say an house, it won't make sense. It won't be grammatically correct. Okay, we've already done the pencil. Remember we said P is not a vowel. We remembered our 5 vowels. P is not a vowel, therefore we have to use A. Okay, what about this one? This one might be a little bit tricky to pronounce. It's an envelope. An envelope is something you send letters in. Okay, so again, let's recount our vowels. We know there are 5 vowels. A, E, I, O, U. E is a vowel. According to our rule, when it is a vowel, we have to use an. So we would say an envelope. If we say a envelope, it doesn't make sense. Okay, now, see, once you start using the rules and getting used to using the rules, it gets a little bit easier. Okay, so let's look at rabbits. Well, my vowels, let's see our vowels. A, E, I, O, U. R is not a vowel. So using our rule, I have to use A because R is a consonant. And rabbit starts with R. So I have to say a rabbit, not an rabbit. An rabbit won't make sense. Our final one is apple. Now again, A, E, I, O, U. A is a vowel. So according to my rule, I have to use an apple, not a apple, because A is a vowel and apple starts with A. So it's an apple. Okay, well done for giving that a try. The more you practice using these rules, the more you will get used to it. Okay. Now we're going to do another activity where we're going to use a and an, and we're going to look at whether the word before using a or an starts with a consonant or a vowel. Remember the trick. If you remember your 5 vowels, the rule is easier to see. Remembering your 5 vowels is much quicker and easier than remembering all the letters and all the categories. You know that if it's not a vowel, it has to be a consonant. Okay, so let's try this again. Tomorrow, I am going to something party. Now, it's either a party or an party. Now, when you use the English language a lot more, you will instantly know which one fits, which one sounds right. But using our rule, we have to look at the first letter of the word that comes after the article. So P. Now I have to think, is P a vowel? A, E, I, O, U. Nope, it's not a vowel. So according to my rule, I have to use A for consonants. So tomorrow I am going to a party. But listen, if I was to use an, listen to how it sounds. tomorrow I am going to an party. It doesn't make sense. And it won't be grammatically correct. Okay, now you have a go at doing the rest. See if you can use the rule and identify the consonants and the vowels. And then when you're ready, play the video and we will come. Okay. Okay, let's go through. Humpty Dumpty was something egg. Now, looking at my rule, A, E, I, O, U. E is a vowel. According to my rule, when the word begins with a vowel, we have to use an. So Humpty Dumpty was an egg. Okay, let's go to the next one. I always have something umbrella in my bag in case it rains. Umbrella. Okay, so we have to look at the first letter of the word that comes after the article. So in this case, it's a U. So is it a vowel? A-I-O, A-E-I-O-U. It is a vowel. According to my rule, when it's a vowel, I have to use an. I always have an umbrella in my bag in case it rains. Okay. The dog was on something lead. Now I have to look at L. Once we keep practicing, we will get to know that L is a consonant. And the rule is when the word starts with a consonant, we use A. The dog was on a lead. Okay, you can make something house out of snow. Now I know that H is a consonant. So according to my rule, when the first letter of the word is a consonant, after an article, I have to use A. You can make a house out of snow, which is called something igloo. So a house out of snow is called something igloo. That's what we call it, igloo. This is what we call it, igloo. Okay, so I know that I is a vowel because A-E-I-O-U. I is a vowel. I know that when the word begins with a vowel, I have to use an. So which is called an igloo. Okay, good job.